Doctor Doom, for people who've only watched the movies, is basically just a question of what happens when you cross Tony Stark with Doctor Strange and then give him diplomatic immunity. You wouldn't really get that from any movie released so far, but there is an accurate Doctor Doom out there. A Doctor Doom lost to time, forgotten. Let's take a look back at all the Dooms we've had so far in live action. First steps first, let's go over the heaps good criteria for what makes a good Doctor Doom. Outside of the look, we have 4 elements. Is he regal? Doctor Doom is a freedom fighter who became the leader of Latveria. And depending on the comic issue that you're reading, he leads it well. He oozes royalty and justful dominion. Second criteria, does he have tech? Dr. Doom is a master of all, and learning to become a technological genius is where he met Reed Richards. Him having a hand in both magic and technology is what makes him Doom, and a foil for most of the Marvel Universe. Heaps good third criteria is, does he have magic ability? Dr. Doom learnt magic before most of the other skills that he possesses. He's a self-made man who turned to the dark arts and has knowledge above even the Sorcerer Supreme sometimes. And the last one, and this one's real important to me, does he have a separate origin story to the Fantastic Four? This will become an obvious criteria as the video goes on, but Victor Von Doom is powerful due to his traumas. From his childhood, loneliness and a need to control has plagued him. Bro was building skill trees before video games existed. Sure, he has beef with the Fantastic Four, but he is powerful independent to them. Alright, so let's start with our most recent Doom, Tony Stark. Robert Downey Jr. was announced this year to be the next Doom. Now we have literally no other info on this other than 1, he'll appear in the next 2 Avengers films, being Doomsday and Secret Wars, and 2, he may appear in a post-credit scene for the new Fantastic Four. When he was announced, the cosplay that he was in did look super accurate, and he did have an army of Dooms around him hinting at Doombots, but there's no confirmation of that. Now, with this info, we can't really match it up to our criteria, but I will say one thing. Dr. Doom is technically a no-face role. For all purposes, he should be heavily scarred like Deadpool and have a mask on for the entirety of his performance. So this might help get around the anxieties that everyone's having about RDJ playing both Iron Man and Doom. Regardless, we can't really match him to any of the heaps good Doom criteria yet, so let's move backwards through time to 2015's Fan 4 Stick. This is a garbage dump of a movie. Body horror elements for the Fantastic Four is interesting and has been done in many different ways, but that's about all this movie gets. Victor is a space scientist who gets stuck on another planet. After this, the same cosmic radiation that gives the Four their powers then merges his body to his suit. It also gives him mind powers. He's popping people's heads like a teenager who just got acne. So let's retouch on that criteria. Is he royal? Well, he has a small preachy speech when saved about how it's his planet versus planet Earth. Is that royalty? No. Does he have tech? His suit is attached to his body, but that's not tech, so again, no. Is he magic? Space magic? I guess we'll give him that one, yeah, sure. And does he have a separate origin to the Fantastic Four? No. In the end, he doesn't even call himself Dr. Doom. This dude sucks and belongs in the bin. Alright, another leap backwards through time now to 2005's Fantastic Four. We have Victor Von Doom, owner of Von Doom Industries. So he's a tech giant, he solves most of his issues with his enormous stacks of money. My dude is dating his assistant and is a horn dog.
Oh! Ew! What the fuck?
He's a tech giant who knows it all and acts like it. He's just a pre-cave Tony Stark, so maybe this is where Feige got the idea for casting Robert Downey Jr. So this Doom is involved in the origin of Fantastic Four. Victor Von Tony Stark is funding a trip to space for one of Reed's experiments. Cosmic radiation happens and you know the show. The Fantastic Four shuttle back down to Earth after being doused in enough radiation to kill an elephant, and their powers come in. Same thing happens to Victor. From here he gets a scar that he gets really self-conscious about, and then he starts to go goblin mode, villain time. His skin goes metal, he gets electricity powers, and he starts plotting his revenge on the Fantastic Four, and then a battle ensues. The details aren't super important for this video, but Doom ends up getting flash freeze and transported back to his homeland of Latveria. This version of Doom's hijinks continue in the sequel, Rise of the Silver Surfer. Basically, upon Surfer landing on Earth, it wakes up Doom, and for some reason, the Fantastic Four and military decide to go to Doom for help. Doom then steals the Surfer's board, uses a gizmo to steal the powers too, and then goes on a rampage. The Four then defeat Doom by breaking his gizmo, he loses his powers, and he is quite literally tossed into a river. Dr. Doom. death by river. It's stupid, but let's look at our criteria for this rendition of Doom. Is he royal? Hell no. He's a tech billionaire who loses all his money in the first movie. Latveria is only brought up in passing. Does he have tech? If you count all the gizmos and gadgets that he uses in these movies to either steal powers or nullify powers, then yeah. But again, it isn't really Iron Man levels of tech, is it? Is he magic? Yeah, if you count cosmic radiation powers as magic, I guess. He is about as magic as the rest of the four, so not as magic as Doctor Strange. I guess he also gets Silver Surfer powers in the sequel, still not magic. Lastly, does he have a separate origin to the Fantastic Four? Absolutely not. Now I bet you're wondering, hey Campbell, you've just gone through every live action Doctor Doom appearance that's hit cinemas, and you've trashed him. Well, loyal listener, yeah, you're correct. You are also an idiot because, there is one more Doom. One that did not see the light of day. One that was in the unreleased Fantastic Four movie of 1994. Effectively, it was only made so the film studio could keep the rights to someday make a proper movie, which also never came. Now, this movie is shit. It's not good for a lot of different reasons, but let's go over Doom's plot in this one. He starts off as a scientist with Reed. Great start. They try to siphon energy from a passing comet and it goes horribly wrong, leaving Victor to apparently be dead. But hey, shock horror, he is just horribly mutilated. Flash forward 10 years and we have Dr. Doom back in Latveria and ruler of said country. He has donned a suit of armor to hide his features and he has a personal beef with Reed. He sabotages Reed, Sue, Johnny and Ben's expedition to space so they then get their powers. He has henchmen who capture the newly powered four and he monologues at them for a little bit after that. They escape, he gets them again, threatens to shoot a laser cannon at New York unless they let him steal their powers. There's a final showdown. All is well by the end of the movie. But let's go back to our criteria. Aside from the goofy movie and incredibly low budget, this was the most accurate costume we've had. The green garb over the top of an incredibly accurate metal suit. Yeah, the actor's hamming it up a bit and his acting is a little bit fruity, but hey, it's the 90s. Is he royal? Hell yeah, he's royal. He has henchmen, a castle, the whole thing. Does he have tech? Well, he has a suit, he has laser cannons, he has force fields he uses to trap the Fantastic Four, he can grow little knives out of his fingertips. Fair amount of tech. He also uses a gun, so technically that's tech. Does he have magic? Okay, this one's difficult. He doesn't openly use magic, but when Reed beats his ass off a castle, he does do a classic villain monologue as Reed tries to save him. He Mufasa's himself off the edge of the castle by slipping out of his glove with an ominous threat that they will fight again. So he obviously has a power of life and death because that guy yeets himself into the abyss. And then his glove hand he leaves behind starts moving of its own accord. Could be tech, could be a bad script, or could be magic. And finally, yes, his origin story is different to how the four get their powers. Basically, my point is as follows. Dr. Doom is the most iconic villain of the Marvel roster, not only being a foil to the Fantastic Four, but also being a general menace to all the heroes of Earth 616 and beyond. And every movie through time since 1994, we have strayed further from the light of God. Every movie since this horribly underfunded, absolute production rights scam of a movie, Dr. Doom's characterization has got worse and worse. With being as iconic as he is, this is shocking. So hopefully someday we can get our Latverian lunatic, Dr. Daddy Doom, accurately portrayed in a movie, and sometime soon, hopefully.